Hi, linear algebra students. So this is an easy problem that you should certainly do by yourself. Here's the YouTube video for it. So I would strongly encourage you to do this by yourself and check at the end of the video if you get the good answer. And if you don't get the good answer, like just go back in the video, see where you might have gone wrong. Okay, so we are given two vectors that are expressed a little bit weirdly, right? 2 times I at plus 3 times k at, and v is going to be j at minus 4k at. And then we want to find the norm of u, the norm of u minus v, and to normalize u. Reminder, these are I at, j at, and k at. These are simply another notation to write the standard basis in our tree. And in general, like in our n, I don't particularly like this notation, but it exists, so we have to deal with it. Okay, so number one. Actually, before we even start, let's actually write these in a more regular notation, okay? So u turns out to be equal the vector 2, 0, and 3, right? This is the component along I hat, this is the component along k hat. And then v is equal to 0, 1, negative 4. So 0, 1, negative 4. And once we write them down, it's much easier to do all of these problems. So number one, finding the norm of u. By definition, this is the square root of u1 squared plus u2 squared plus u3 squared. So in other words, the only thing you need to do is to punch in all three components and square them. Okay, so in other words, we have like 2, 0, 3, and then at this point you just grind coffee, and the answer is going to be root of 13. Please leave it as root of 13. Okay, like don't well, you cannot simplify this, but my point is, since you're not allowed a calculator for the test anyways, you're just going to leave it like this. You're not going to output like decimals. All right, number two, find u minus v. Well, we can easily compute first what is u minus v. Okay, so u minus v. So what is that, guy? Well, you're just going to subtract both components. Okay, so these are, let's say, the green components, and these are the red components. Okay, so you're literally just going to go like, okay, 2 minus 0, then 0 minus 1, then like 3 minus 4. So like it's one vector, 2, 0, 3, minus the other vector, 0, 1, and be careful here, negative 4. So what do we get out of this? We get 2, negative 1, so 2, negative 1, and 7, which means that the norm of u minus v. So again, let's color code this. 2, negative 1, 7. Well, we're going to put that, let's say, in orange. So 2, negative 1, 7. Because these are the components now that I'm using, right? So same definition. So I'm not going to repeat it. I'm just going to write my canvas. And then put the numbers in. 2, negative 1, 7. I doubt you can simplify this. Let's have a look. So we're going to have 4, 49, so 53. We're getting here the square root of 54. Oh, good. We can actually simplify that. So 54 turns out to be 9 times 8, if I recall correctly. So we can simplify that even more. Okay, let's look. We have 9 times 4 times 2. Okay, perfect. So square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 4 is 2. Multiplied by the square root of 2. So in other words, we have here 6 square root of 2. So you guys know how to simplify square roots, so I would expect you to. Unless the square root is obviously like really, really big. But I think it's a good habit to simplify square roots whenever you can. Now let's do number 3. Okay, normalize u. Okay, Well, we have the norm. The norm is root 13. So to normalize u, what we do is we call this u hat, right? The hat notation is to represent a unit vector. It's just to tell the reader, like, this guy has unit length, like it has only one unit of length. And to produce it, remember that the only thing you need to do is to scale u down by its norm, which means you have the norm, it's right here. So yeah, I'm not going to lose too much time. So 1 over root 13, okay, multiplied by the vector u itself, so the one with components 2, 0, 3. Okay. Now, for clarity purposes, even though I'm not necessarily expecting you to do that, you should put like the over root 13, you should put it inside. So in other words, you divide every component of u. And actually, yes, I would expect you to do it for the simple reason is that if there is a simplification going on, I want you to do it. That being said, in this case, there's none. So this is your vector u hat. So let's circle the answer here. The norm of u is root 13. The norm of u minus v is 6 root 2. And u hat is this vector. All right, I hope it helped. See you either in class or in the next video.